comes from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Do you know what is manufactured in Stillwater, Oklahoma?
Besides red dirt and piss beer, I'm not really sure.
Well, we met some guys out at Good Guys when we just did the Good Guys show. And I've had this idea for a couple years now. And I got it from the guys at C10s in the Park. So I've wanted to build a show trailer. Daggum!
The second you start to film.
I don't even know who this is. So we're up at C10s in the Park. So C10s in the Park, they've got this really cool cabinet. It's probably a little bigger than these Snap-on roll carts that we got.
Uh-huh.
And it's got like subwoofers in it. So it's got a couple, I think it's got like 10s or 12s in it, and a bunch of coaxial 8s or 6x9s or whatever. And they've got some kind of inverter in it that converts it to, from like the stereo amp to 12 volt, and then, or 120, and then they plug it into the extension cord, and they just blast the radio through the whole park.
It's like a party in a box then.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I want, like we go to all these car shows. I say all, very few, but the ones we do go to, it gets kind of, to me, a little stagnant sometimes, a little too professional setting for me.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, you've been to so many.
So many. It's like.
It's the same rodeo every time.
You see a bunch of cool cars, you meet a bunch of cool people, but it's kind of the same song and dance. And, I hate having to be so like, hey, how's it going, whatever. Like, my idea is to kind of turn it more into like a party. So we're rewrapping our trailer. Wes is working on a design right now. It's going to be like Knight Rider meets the 80s and 90s and meets Tron and Miami. So it's going to be like this really crazy looking themed
I'm loving it.
Their laser show and whatnot. We're going to redo our canopy. And I just want it to be a party. So I'm going to like market ourselves as come and hang out and party with us instead of come and let me sell you a job. Let's just keep our booth full of cool people wanting to hang out, have a couple drinks. Maybe we'll bring our grill out, smoke some brisket or ribs or something, and just have a good time. So I was talking about that at Good Guys, with Good Guys, to get their blessing that, hey, can I throw a party at your show? And it's kind of a yes. So we're just going to see how the fall show goes. But I was sitting there and I was like, we need to bring this cabinet thing up. I want something that we can sit behind to talk to people, like have some literature there, whatever, just a place to sit. Because all we have right now is chairs, so people walk up to you in a chair. It'd almost be nicer if somebody could walk up to you and like talk to you like at a table kind of thing. So I want to build a box like the guys at C10s in the Park had.
By the way, yeah, you need a spot in this box for your margarita machine to go.
That's going to be in the trailer. So, let me set this down. I'll never get it out of here. So, this is 112.
I love that you're keeping it old school with some kickers.
Dude, solo bearings? All the good stuff. So, I had, thought about this box or whatever, and then a guy walks up to me from KICKER,
Tim,
and says, hey man, if you ever want some KICKER stuff, you ever want somebody to work with you, or if you ever use some equipment, whatever, just let us know. I said, well man, let me tell you a little something I got going on. So I told them what we were thinking, what we wanted to do, and they were excited to work with us, which is exciting too, because we've never had a stereo equipment company work with us before. So I mean, what cooler company than KICKER? Look at this. This is remote because our speakers have LEDs in them. Like some people might think, oh, that's trinky. That's what we're going for. I want a laser show. So now our speakers, we can make them all light up different colors and stuff. Like, I think it's gonna be amazing.
I like that.
So, I'm super excited to work with KICKER. I think they're pretty excited to work with us too, hopefully.
I was such a nerd. Let's take it back 24 years, year 2000. Just got my driver's license. Had a faux Ford Lightning, just a single cab 93 F-150. I had kickers, but I had to put the little ring lights, neon tube ring lights around them get LED, because that's how. When it bass, and you could set it up to be on rhythm or be on all the time. Everyone was roasting me, but I loved it. So I love that you're bringing that back.
We're gonna kick it. Like, I want a full 80s, 90s kind of gig going, you know what I mean? So it's hard to say, because I was born in '83, but who really remembers the first 7 years of their life very much? Do you remember like the actual '80s style, really?
No. Well, I mean, me and my wife were just talking about this. We grew up out in West Texas, and it's like a time capsule out there. So the '90s still felt like the '70s out there. So I think it's gonna kick ass. Personally, I'm super freaking stoked about it, to be honest with you. So this will plug into the so this roll cart will be built, and it's probably going to be, I don't know, 5 foot wide, 2 foot deep, and probably 4 foot tall or something like that. Just enough you can sit behind it, have a little tray, and then we'll wrap it or paint it in some cool graphics. I had them send me like their oldest vintage logo. So we're gonna have that put in the wrap, so it'll look like it's old school too. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. I mean, shows are awesome, but to me, they're a little stagnant at times. And you're there to have a good time, and I enjoy having conversations. But sometimes in between the conversations, when you're just kind of sitting there, like waiting for people to come by or hang out or whatever, it'll kind of put you to sleep. So I think this is a way for us to keep people there, have some fun, and just kind of get back to enjoying going to car shows again, just where it's fun and exciting, where we're not just kind of bored sometimes.
I think Good Guys is doing a good job implementing all the other stuff that they have. Like, I saw that they had drifting and more.
Oh, they're doing a good job trying to bring in the younger audience for sure.
Right, and so Grid Life Atlanta has a thing every year where they do it, and they implement a music festival into it. So it's basically like Good Guys with a music festival, and I feel like what you're saying, just bringing somewhat of a party into it.
So at the F100 show,
make it fun,
that we just went to in Tennessee, was great. We drove our trucks out there and back, good time. Alan, the guy that puts on the Texoma F100 show in Gainesville, I asked him about, how cool would it be to kind of do an event of some sorts there, and I don't know what they call it. To me, it's like, I call it like in my head. Of course, somebody maybe, if y'all come up with a better name, but like a down and back race. So a couple years ago at SEMA, we brought, I don't remember what vehicle it was, but out in the backside, kind of between, it was on the backside of the, what was it, South Hall?
Yeah, isn't that where they have like the Continental track set up over there?
Right.
Yeah.
So they had some cars out there. It was almost like time attack looking cars. So they like drag race down so far, and then they had to 180 around a cone and then come back and stop in a certain section.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was like, how much fun would that be?
It's because it's like a drag race, but with a 180.
With a 180. So it's like you could do an eighth mile there and an eighth mile back. You could do a quarter mile drag, but with a 180 and half of it, and then you got to stop inside the box.
Right. So precision braking.
Right. So not only do you have to be fast, but you got to be able to stop your whip too. So how cool would that be to see like just average people going out there, and then you could just no awards, no you win nothing like that, but just to be able to say, man, I'll race you, and then you coin toss for left or right, because one of them is going to turn right and one's going to go left. You don't want to turn into each other, so you're going to start next to each other, 180 out the opposite direction from each other, and then come back. So to me, my dominant side would be going left, so it'd be a little more tricky for me to U-turn right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm better at, whenever I'm drifting and having fun, going to the right than I am the left.
Right.
So, like, or you could do 2 out of 3, whatever it is.
2 out of 3 would be kind of cool.
Right. You'd have to have some safety built into that too, like, because you always want to turn away from each other, obviously, and then the braking pad can't have a wall because somebody's going to brake fade and blow right through that thing. So, like, it's got to have like a...
You need like those water barrier walls or whatever.
It's going to need like a shutdown area for some people, I'm sure, but...
Throw some dirt out there.
How cool would that be? That'd be an event that I think would be even fun if you could just rent a parking lot, because you're not necessarily doing burnouts, you're not drifting.
Yeah, and you're not having to set up like a full autocross.
No,
thing.
Like how cool would it be to start like a weekend club to do that? I wish I owned some concrete somewhere that you could have fun with.
I feel like you do.
I don't own any. I own some land. I don't have any concrete.
That's what I'm saying.
I need somebody to sponsor some concrete for me. Concrete's so expensive, dude.
It really is.
And then to get it set up, you can't just have somebody come out and just lay a pad, because if it's all choppy or whatever, it's no good. So you have to have somebody lay out a nice spread, you know? That'd be so much fun to do. But
it would be. And then you'd feel more and more grip as everybody starts laying down rubber.
Oh, yeah, get the tarmac down?
Yeah.
So, anyways, off subject a little bit. But anyway, that's part of all the stuff that I want to do. Like, I'd like for car wash shows to have a little bit more interaction with some events that you could play with, I guess, in a way. Like, autocross at Good Guys is awesome to watch. I'm not a pro. So the guys out there just want to have fun. You can't go out there and have fun anymore. Like, it's a full-on sport out there.
Oh, yeah, it is.
These cars are built for that. And whenever I used to do it years ago, even a few years ago when Luke did it, it wasn't that crazy.
Yeah, like 5-6 years ago, you could dip your toe into it.
Now it's like time attack cars out there doing it. Like, it's not.
Yeah, no.
It's an event you go to watch. It's almost like you don't go out there to participate. Like, I think they need to have more just normal people out there participating in it, just having fun with their cars. And I mean, because that would bring more joy to me to be out there doing it than it would be to watch. I'm gonna watch it.
That's kind of the appeal of like Power Tour, because you drive to these tracks, you can park out there, but you can also take any of your vehicles onto the drag strip, and you can race your buddies. You don't have to have a certain class or anything.
There are no times. Who cares?
There's no. Yeah, exactly.
Like, put a light. Who won?
Exactly.
I mean, that's
no one
all
really
I'm
cares. You're just
know?
having fun.
Yeah. But where'd those crappy trash bags come from? Is that what Nick brought back?
Steve gave them to us.
Steve,
We'll have to
that ain't right.
have a talk with Steve.
Steve's holding out,
Steve
man.
doing you dirty.
That ain't gonna hold none of our trash.
They're pretty thin.
One cup's gonna tear.
Real cheap.
One cup's gonna tear right through that.
I thought it was a paper bag.
Make sure to put them out fast so that they tear.
Looked like he was putting tissue paper in there.
That's miserable. So, Fall Good Guys is gonna be great. Dino's is gonna be awesome. And we're gonna have some fun. So if you see us at the Texas Good Guys in the fall, come by. You'll see our trailer wrapped and our stereo system all hooked up. If you're gonna Dino's, we'll be out there. I'm looking at doing some different things with the service truck. It's got that Godzilla in there with that Harp supercharger. It did fine pulling to Tennessee and back. We didn't have any issues with power whatsoever. The issues we're having with the truck are based on tuning. And by tuning, I don't mean our tuner's capabilities. It's our access to what we can tune. There's a lot of parameters we can't get to, torque curves and blah, blah, like tuner talk. I don't know how to say it.
Locked out of the software, basically.
We're locked out of some stuff, and it's kind of making that a little bit of a headache for me. I built the truck to pull the trailer, and I want to enjoy using the truck. So if it doesn't pull the big trailer well, then it's kind of defeating the purpose. So, well, we were at Tennessee Good Guys, or the Tennessee F100 show, Grand National F100 show. I met a guy named Thomas who owns KINSER Fabrication. I think it's KINSER Fab. And they have awesome products. They have conversions to go from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive on the 3/4 ton trucks and half-ton trucks. They hooked us up with a Hydro Boost setup that we're going to try on our truck to see how that goes with our stopping, because our brakes aren't quite where I'd like them to be. A little sketchy at times. But poor Todd. I think I almost gave Todd a couple heart attacks out there, or he had a couple with that truck.
What better way to get rid of your business partner than giving him a heart attack?
Then just throw him in the truck. See you in the hills. But I think I want a PowerStroke swap that truck now. And I think KINSER just about has me talked into doing a 4-wheel drive conversion.
So that's interesting, because I think I did read when you first, a couple of videos back, you talked about the Godzilla swap being in there, and somebody had asked, like, oh, I'm thinking about getting one. Would you recommend that or whatever?
Yes. I mean, the motor's awesome.
Gotcha.
And the supercharger's awesome. Everything's great about it. The problem is when it's going in and out of boost too much. So the supercharger will help generally, right? So like you put a supercharger on something, it gives you good torque. We don't have enough control over everything to modulate, from what I understand, to like modulate the way the boost comes in. So it's either 0 to 2 psi or 11 pounds. I mean, which is a lot. So when it does that, it feels funny. It doesn't feel right. It's got use a lot of gas because as soon as the computer sees that we're going into that much boost, it gives it full load because you don't want to be in that much boost and burn it up because you're running out of fuel. So it just dumps all the fuel in there with the boost, and it got 6.2, 6.3 miles to the gallon, pulling a 6,000-pound trailer. My trailer's big, but it's not heavy. It's only 6,000 pounds, and we pulled it empty. There was no weight other than the trailer itself.
I feel like that's pretty bad.
It wasn't great.
I don't know pulling numbers, but I feel like people usually get closer to 8 and 10, maybe more than that.
Diesels, I mean, my 14 gets like 12 pulling the same trailer with a car in it. So you're talking 10,000 pounds versus 6,000 pounds, getting twice as much gas mileage.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it's not great. So the service truck has a 38-gallon gas tank in it. My truck has a 20, and we were running out of gas at the exact same time.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, I mean, my gas gauge, the way the float is on it's a little lower because, I mean, my average mile per gallon was like, like 16 and a half or something like that. But I was doing like 90, so I feel like that was pretty good. And the 48 behind us. I looked at I found a 24 POWERSTROKE. Problem is you can't tune a 24 POWERSTROKE, but they're 500 horsepower, 1,200 foot-pounds of torque stock.
Wow.
That's outrageous.
That's all you really need.
I wouldn't even tune it. All I would do is just delete it.
That's what I'm saying.
And be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. But it's not going to pan out because I can't tune it. So it sounds like from talking to a couple other people that were going to build the harness for me, I'm going to have to stick to like 21, maybe 22. So I'm looking for like a 21 F250 four-wheel drive. Two-wheel drive, if I don't convert it, the problem is with the four-wheel drive, it goes straight axle, which gives me a little more oil pan clearance versus the crossmember that's in it now. So anyways, I'm long-winded talking about all the crap I got going on. Anyways, check out KICKER. I'm super excited to work with them. I think this is awesome, and they're working with us on this, so this is a little bit of a plug, so don't feel like you have to call me out, but it's all what comes around goes around, right? So we're working with them, they'll work with us. It's a good partnership right now. Hopefully it stays like that and it works well. Now we have somebody we can call and get, recommendations for all of our builds that we got going on too. And they're a company that's been around for a long time. I mean, I can't say anything bad about them, but somebody that's been around that long got to be doing something right, the way I take it, right? So excited to work with these guys. And then once we get the service truck Godzilla situated, we'll go down that path. But next week, if everything goes well, I want to show you guys the Hydro Boost setup that KINSER is helping us with, because I think with other guys' applications, their setup, if it fixes ours, it'll be a huge help to everybody else too. So, like I said, it's kind of a plug for them because they're willing to work with us to try to figure out our situation. And my job here, I feel like, is to inform and let people know what's going on, show what we're doing and how everything works, and then let y'all know what works for us and what doesn't work for us. So hopefully these brakes fix it, because we almost killed Todd a couple times. So maybe it'll save somebody's life by putting these KINSER brakes on there. It just it almost felt like brake fade, but it wasn't. It was just like running out of vacuum or volume or something. We fought it before we left. We thought we had it fixed. Had I known we were going to have that issue, we wouldn't have drove it 1,800 miles. But it all worked out. In the end, we all made it back, and we died, so I mean, not too bad, not too shabby. But I guess that'll be it for this week. Hopefully next week things will be a little more calm and collective, maybe, and I'd really like to show you guys my 48. Maybe we take it out for a spin.
That's right.
All right.
Do some birthday burnouts.
Next week is my birthday, but
yeah.
You'll see this the day after my birthday. So everybody's gonna tell me happy birthday, and it's actually a happy belated birthday, so it doesn't count. See you later. I'm done with this shit, man. Can I get back to work?
This week? Oh yeah, my knife. Let's do a knife check.
Parker J, we're here with Nick.
Yeah.
What you got?
This is a Concept Warrior. It's a S35 steel. Look at that spine. Look how thick it is.
Man, that's thick, boy.
It is a titanium and copper Damascus handle, so.
I like that handle.
It's a cool daily, yeah.
It really is.
This week we finished up some of the pieces for Polly. Today I started body working the bottom side of the 56. It'll probably be next week before we get it in the booth to get it urethaned. It's gonna all be bedline, but we still want it straight. So yeah, so we have all the stuff in the booth I can show you. And the fenders right here got done. Just the inside jams.
Oh yeah, these look nice. Since we got to see some of the progress last week. So.
Yeah. You get to see all the progress. But once we finish the bottom side, get it urethaned, we are gonna put it on a car dolly so we can do the front firewall and everything. So this is the first round of poly on all the inner fenders, anything under the hood. Once we get it back into the body shop, we're gonna body work it again, check everything, make it straight, and then it should get ready for last poly. Yeah, so I think we're gonna get it all back in there, and then we're gonna mount everything to the car eventually, and then block it to the car. So that's the steps.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Catch up with you next week unless you got anything else.
Right on. No, that's it.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, so we're here catching up with Keenan. Some progress you made.
I, with a little help of everybody else probably, we worked on the C10 this week. So I guess I worked on it last week, and then today is my last day on it, and then next week I'll be on the Bronco. So kind of got a few things squared away before I got off of it.
I see since the last time I was here, I already noticed that it's got a front bumper on it.
Oh yeah, I did that earlier in the week. So it's nice aftermarket bumper. I only had to cut all the brackets off and adjust them. So
gotta love it.
Cut all the brackets off, put it to where I wanted it because the mounts were so low that it was hitting this and wouldn't even go on. So I cut those off, which were easy enough since they're hidden hardware, and then sectioned it 1.25 inches. So it's got a nice little tuck right there. Just got a finger gap, real nice. Hopefully it don't flex and hit the frame, or hit the paint and scratch it, but not my department anymore. No, it shouldn't though. It should be good. I think I tucked it in a little bit. I also had to modify the upper bumper bracket and move the holes because that didn't fit, surprisingly. So, and that got the bumper on. Then I moved on to the dreaded inner fenders that I've been putting off for a while now, and I figured it was about time to do them. So we started off with the slosh, I guess mild tubs. I'm not sure which ones these are. I do know that I widened them 3 inches though. You can see, and it took 2 sets.
Is that a strip in there that you've added?
No, that's 2 different sets. That's where, that is where.
I saw a pair of what looked like trash fenders out in the back of his truck.
That was the other side.
So the donor set?
This is where the first cut took place. And so I just moved in 3 inches, that way I'd push it out 3 inches. So this, if you put that right there, that would be a normal tub. Took 2 of them, so. And we're just gonna leave this and just paint over it.
Sounds good.
Now
Super pro. That's like, I think Blake would approve of that.
Oh yeah. So that'll hold that together, and then probably glass it, pull the whole front clip off as one piece, glass it together so it stays sort of its shape.
Yeah, just for anyone thinking we're being serious, this man has messed with fiberglass for a while now, so.
I don't like it.
He doesn't like it, but he's good at it, and he's gonna fix this completely.
Yeah,
so don't take anything he says serious.
All I did was cut it this week, so.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and get itchy.
Get itchy.
So,
did you get any in your eye?
No, just in my arms.
Okay.
But
you've had a pretty good year with your eyes this year?
Yeah, not bad. No, I'm probably, as I'm older, probably wear my safety glasses a little more, so.
That's good. When I first met this guy, he was going to the hospital, like, it seemed like every other month for metal in the eye.
I've probably been about 3 or 4 times, but.
Gotcha.
I feel like most of the time I would wear glasses and then it would
always
catch on my hat. And then later when I'm not wearing them, it'd fall in.
And you just go to wipe your face and just accidentally rub it in.
It's always stupid stuff that happens. But
yeah, it's annoying.
We have the radiator, but we didn't have all the pieces, so I didn't put it in. I wanted to, but that way I could kind of finish off the
You want it on video, just put it in and tape it in place like Blake, so you look like you did a bunch of work?
I was going to.
He did that last week.
Yeah, on the Camaro.
Yeah.
I talked about gapping stuff last week. I guess people want to know more about it. I don't have a straight edge. Let me go get a straight edge. So I guess obviously when you're setting your panels up, you want to start from the most stationary panel, which is going to be this back edge. Gap that. And then you also want to start without your latches in. That way the door doesn't push up or down. It just goes in relaxed, and you can get your lines right where they need to be, and then you adjust the latch back to fit. But it is you kind of have to have a happy medium with everything, because if you want the door to look good and be straight, obviously you can just push it all the way in and then it's going to be flat and it'll look good, but then it'll pinch the weather stripping at the front, and then you'll end up having to slam it real hard, which isn't that cool. And I've still got to figure out, this is the only part I got to figure out right here, because it's got a gap at this hump right here, and thinking I'm gonna have to cut the inner skin, and I don't want to do that, but I'm gonna have to. So it's got a weird place in this door from about here up, but right here we're looking pretty good. Still got to pull that out a little bit. That's why I haven't welded that little cut. But so yeah, I mean, without actually getting into it, there's a lot of different ways to do it. You want a 3/16 gap.
That's what you try and go for usually.
3/16. That way, after paint, the edges build up, and you don't want to close the gap up, since most of the time you're putting a lot of clear on it and primers and paint and all that. So
I know, which by the way, full disclaimer, the reason why we don't get a full breakdown of everything y'all do is I'm only here for an hour and a half usually.
Yeah.
And I got to interview everybody.
And we're usually cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started that, and then I'm like, this is gonna take a long time. So yeah, there's a quick gist of it, but
yeah.
I also worked on, I didn't work on it. We got the Bronco latch in, so it's gonna set me up next week for a good week. The old latch is right back here. Let me get it. There's the old latch, which takes up a lot of room for the AC condenser and the supercharger heat exchanger. So BC Broncos makes a nice billet one.
Oh, that's cool. Real low profile.
Yeah. And this thing hangs out and looks all stupid hanging out of the grill. So now you can't open it from the outside, which is another good thing. Safety, and nobody can steal your supercharger now, so that'll save some room. So now we've got to mount the heat exchanger next week and figure out what heat exchanger is going to go in it with all the room that we got, or lack thereof. So we'll see how it goes. Don't hold me to that, because now I got cameras documenting every week to see if I actually get it done or not. So
no worries, dude.
But yeah, that's about it for me. So that's all I got done. I feel like I did a lot more, but yeah, those inner fenders and the bumper took a while. So that's all I got, guys. So sorry.
No need, man.
I'm here, Eric. I'm here. It's my day.
All right.
Here's my quick
All
intro.
right. What do you got done on the 63.5 this week?
63.5 this week. Got a Ron Davis radiator installed to keep the old song dog cool. Got the condenser mounted for the AC. AC housing and everything is mocked up, or actually in and done under the dash. Gas pedal brackets done. Computer under the dash done. No, I don't need to talk much, bud. Short and sweet, short and sweet. Pretty much just making everything work as it should. It's all done.
That's cool, man. I see a gauge cluster in there and some air vents.
We are. Casey wants to run a factory, or not factory, an old school vintage air. So that was the original one we're just using for mock-up, just to see kind of the look of what it would have. The aftermarket ones are about an inch shorter, so we'll have a little bit more room to play with the center console. Of course, we'll have some decoded digitals in here to bring it a little to life. I fit the AC controls, but I had to take it out earlier, so all the vintage AC stuff works. Like I said, AC is done, AC lines are ran, just the 2 heater core lines are the only 2 things left to run. The bulkhead is actually hidden between the fender and the front, so you don't see any of it on the firewall.
Yeah, I tried to get that last week. Remember, I missed it. I was a little too late. You'd already bolted the fender on.
Yes, sir.
But it looks awesome.
It's getting there. Today, shaved the speaker vent, or like
I noticed that up on the top of the dash.
That took a while trying to keep it cool, not to warp and screw up the old school dash. So now the computer is mounted up underneath to keep it really clean, and then we'll have the Deutsch connectors from the firewall to wire the entire motor. So you really won't see a whole lot. Hopefully we keep it pretty clean. We'll have an AC bulkhead on the inner fender here. Heater core lines are coming around to the back. Casey's really wanting to so I think he wants to supercharge. He wants a Whipple on it, but we're talking about clearance from the hood to the Whipple, and he doesn't know if we have enough room, but he wants to make it happen, so we'll see about that.
Starting to turn into that Falcon project all over again.
I guess. I mean, this is the furthest this car has been along, or this far along in a very long time, so I'm pretty excited to see it going.
Yeah, it's looking good, dude. I like all the work that you've done on it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's getting there. That's my outro, short and sweet.
These hinges have been on the fab table for 5 or 6 months. Casey's looking at me now.
Because he knows, huh?
He knows I'm trying to get rid of them. So he said we can't get rid of them until we know what they go to. And I don't even know. I don't know what they go to, so we need your help. That way we can free the space up. So.
He's trying to act all cool over there like he don't know what's going on.
So I think they're a Ford product. Maybe a seat hinge. Somebody's got to know. So tell us so we can put an end to this.
Someone please help Keenan and the guys so they can get rid of more items that Casey keeps storing.
That way we can put our pizza here instead of hinges that we'll never use.
Exactly.
So there you go.
This has been a PSA with Keenan.
We might even send them to you if you need them.
There you go. Yeah, send us your address and pay for postage.
Yeah.